Murder trial is underway months after a deadly shooting. 25-year-old Brandon Williams-Gillard faces several charges, including second-degree aiding and abetting murder for violence that happened back in the summer. Northern News Now's Madison Green was in the courtroom today as the trial began and joins us live in the studio with an update. Madison?
Dan, today was all about jury selection, which will continue tomorrow. He's charged with second-degree aiding and abetting murder, second-degree aiding and abetting assault, and drive-by shooting. You'll remember in early August, violence broke out in a parking lot on 24th Avenue West and West 3rd Street in Duluth. According to police, Williams-Gillard, who was in the courtroom today, and 21-year-old Sanusi Bangura approached a man they had a contentious history with. Williams-Gillard told the man they should, quote, box. The man suggested they box down the street and drove to the 2500 block of West 2nd Street. Williams-Gillard and Bangura followed in their car. Court documents say when the three arrived, the other man had a group of friends waiting, who approached Williams-Gillard and Bangura's car. One of the friends threw a punch through the open driver's side window. Williams-Gillard and Bangura drove off, as Bangura allegedly fired several gunshots at the group. 19-year-old Paris Allen was shot in the head and later died in the hospital. Another man was hurt. Williams-Gillard pleaded not guilty to all three charges. His trial is expected to go throughout the remainder of this week and finish sometime next week. Bangura is charged with the same three felonies. He's in court for a hearing in December, on December 14th. We'll keep tracking both cases. All right.